whisky lovers, and welcome to another one of Mark's Whisky Ramblings, and today we will be talking Ardbeg. Now Ardbeg is of course that Islay whisky that is so strongly marketed and truth be told from time to time overhyped, that it has this huge following, almost a cult following. Ardbeg is something of a cult whisky, therefore one of the most famous Islay whiskies around there. But let's be honest, the standard 10-year-old is a top quality whiskey, and the Oogdal and the Corrivrekken, for example, are two of my personal favorite Ardbeg expressions. And of course they also have the special releases that they have with Ardbeg Day or committee releases until previously. And because Ardbeg is so hyped and so popular, they always sell out in a matter of weeks. So just to say that Ardbeg is really up there with the most famous of Islay whiskies. But not only the official releases are okay, there is also the independent bottlers, of course. Ardbeg is quite popular with independent bottlers, although of course the releases are much less plentiful. Independent releases of Ardbeg, well, apart from Cadenhead, Douglas Lane, and a few others, and of course the Scotch Malt Whisky Society, those players each have more than 100 bottlings of Ardbeg, independent bottlings. But the other players, not that much, not so plentiful. Take for example Rattray, a Glasgow-based company, independent bottler. They only have 2 individual cask bottlings of Ardbeg, and they've only been released very recently. In 2013, Rattray released a Ardbeg on a bourbon hogshead. That was cask 1751. That was released at cask strength last year, and then this year they released an Ardbeg on a sherry cask. Now that's quite interesting. Sherry cask, and it is cask number, let me take a peek here, 1732. This was a sherry hogshead, and as you can see, it's not the standard Rattray label, no, because this was bottled exclusively for a Belgian retailer with the name of Jurgen's Whiskyhuis. Now Jurgen's Whiskyhuis is also the organizer of the festival for independent bottlers in Belgium, and that's where I first got in touch with this Ardbeg. If you're interested, you can find a little video about that festival on YouTube as well. It's one of my previous ramblings about a couple months ago. Anyway, it's an Ardbeg on sherry cask, a sherry hogshead, that yielded only 142 bottles, and this Ardbeg is 20 years old. It was distilled in 1993 and it was bottled in May of 2014. Excuse me. It is bottled at a cask strength of 57.1% ABV. Now, as you can see, my bottle was almost empty, so it was high time to let you in on it. Because as you will find, Ardbeg on a sherry cask is not that common. It should be quite a treat, therefore. Ardbeg on a sherry cask at cask strength. Now, judging from the colour, I presume it was a rather inactive sherry cask, or most likely a refill cask. Anyway, Ardbeg 1993, 20 years old. It's got this pale gold colour on the nose. Oh yes. It is wonderfully sweet and sour on the one hand. You get the peat with some green apples in the mix. Even some pineapple peel, so there's quite some fruit in there as well. Some lime, even some mint. This is quite nice, but give it some time and you will find something in there that you do not associate with Ardbeg that easily, meaning cowhide. Strange, but very pleasant in this case. But then again, the fruit comes out. I get some banana. I get some applesauce. It reminds me even a bit of, this may sound a bit weird, but it reminds me a bit of buttermilk. But it works wonders. The smokiness is rather subdued, as are the spices. It is not very spicy on the nose. And the smoke is in the background. And after a few moments, now that it has been breathing for just a few minutes, I even get some plasticine, which again sounds a bit weird but works very well in this rather complex nose. Oh, this is really good. I could keep smelling this for quite a while. It comes in layers. You get the fruit on the one hand, you get the peat on the other hand, smoke in the background, different kinds of fruits. But I must say the Ardbeg character really comes through. So again, the sherry influence is minimal, I should say. But it works wonderfully. Alright, on the palate. So like I said, 57.1% ABV. So this might be quite a sturdy dram on the palate. Here we go. Wow. I said, whew, hardly any spices on the nose, but on the palate, whoo, very spicy. The spices explode on your tongue. I get like nutmeg, cinnamon, some chili pepper even. This is very powerful, very punchy. Of course, the high alcohol percentage has a lot to do with that. And then something salty kicks in. Really nice. And the smokiness is grand. But still, the fruit still comes through. You still get that pineapple cubes, some banana, citrusy notes as well. Loads of citrusy notes coming through now. Maybe even some mandarin in the back. But clearly, again, the Ardbeg character is on top. It's not that the sherry is overpowering it. It's just adding a little texture, a little flavor, a little aroma to the whiskey. It is not, well, it is technically a sherry matured whiskey, but the sherry here clearly has a supporting role. Let me put it that way. This is a wonderful whiskey, very powerful on the palate. But I have to say, it does not need water. This is so nice. And that finish, it is wonderfully long and warm, and it lingers and it fades ever so gently. And I've tried it before, as you can see. And when this video is done, after 15 minutes after this video is done, I will still be able to taste that Ardbeg in the back of the throat. This finish is quite amazing. And having said that, it's on the sweet fruit and a salty edge, that finish, which is quite pleasant, quite Ardbegian, if that's a word. Well, this is an outstanding Ardbeg release from Jurgen's Whiskyhuis, and a single cask bottling, a sherry hogshead from 1993, 20 years on a sherry cask. But again, a refill cask most likely, or well, at least a very inactive cask, because the sherry influence is minimal, supportive, but it does add a layer of complexity to this wonderful Ardbeg. But the Ardbeg character is on top, is dominating, and is, well, it overpowers the sherry. Making for one hell of an Ardbeg. I have to be honest, this is one of the best Ardbegs I have tried so far, and that's saying something because of, well, I have a few under my belt, let me put it that way. An individual release, 20 years old, but I have to be honest, it will set you back around 300 euros, and it can only be purchased at Jurgen's Whiskyhuis in Belgium, but hey, they ship worldwide. He's a friend of mine, why not make a little advertisement for him? And it's, after all, the only way that you will be able to get your hands on this fantastic Ardbeg. And that's all for this Whisky Rambling, and I hope to see you again at one of Mark's Whisky Ramblings real soon, and until then, may the malt be with you. Bye bye.